Yo, welcome to No Picks with Chedda Chaz, where there's no hand holding, do facts, not emotion. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you haven't already. We got breaking news, we got drama, we got scandal today. Shout out to Pablo Torre. He's come out with a story today that has the internet on fire, especially the NBA world. Kawhi Leonard signed a $28 million endorsement deal for a no-show job with a fraudulent tree planting company funded by $50 million from Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, according to documents pertained by Pablo Torre. Now, this is all alleged. The NBA has come out and said they're going to be doing an active investigation as reported by Shams. So basically what he's saying is that Steve Ballmer created this shell company to kind of pay Kawhi under the table and circumvent the NBA salary cap, which is, a bit restrictive now. But even back then, there was only certain things you could do with the luxury tax. Steve Ballmer, he's super rich. He pays hundreds of millions of dollars in luxury taxes, but he probably wanted a little bit of a break from that so that team can maneuver a bit more. That was probably the reason why he created the shell company.
What we know is that NBA executives were suspicious of how Steve Ballmer's Clippers landed the most valuable free agent on the market, Kawhi Leonard. That the NBA did not find that Ballmer got Kawhi by sweetening their offer. But also that in March 2025, this celebrity-endorsed, multi-billion-dollar, allegedly fraudulent tree brokerage named Aspiration, which promises to clear your conscience and your emissions, they filed for bankruptcy. And this is where the clue is. What David's looking at with his glasses on is a bankruptcy filing, and there's a list of creditors. The entities to which Aspiration and all of their alleged fraudulence still owes the most money. And what I noticed is what David is noticing right now, which is that on that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC. A tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
So then the question is, the Aspire part of KL2 Aspire LLC, right? Because, okay, he's getting all this money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find, which also might seem weird, right? Because every other celebrity Aspiration gave money to was well known. There was Drake offering a statement to Rolling Stone. There was Doc Rivers, Kawhi's own head coach. Robert Downey Jr. was cutting his commercial. That was the whole point of paying the A-list Avengers. But the grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing Aspiration, 0 times.
Right.
Kawhi Leonard mentioned Aspiration.
So people from the, as reported by Gambo, people from the Toronto Raptors have come out and say that Kawhi Leonard also was asking the Toronto Raptors for a bit of under the table money. When he was a pending free agent, after he won a championship ring with them, he was like, hey, I'll come back if you could give me a little more money under the table. The Raptors balked at it. Kawhi Leonard went to the Clippers, as you know. Now, this is more of a moral issue versus a legality issue, in my opinion, because this happens in every walk of life. Construction owners, construction workmen, contractors or what have you, they'll buy something for cheap, sell it to you for high. People do things with their taxes to kind of circumvent some tax penalties, luxury taxes, capital gains taxes, etc. This happens in every walk of life. So that's not the issue here. The issue is more so how many other teams are doing this, and do you care? Right? Ultimately, it's do you care? Does the league care about maintaining the parity in the NBA or the or competition level in the NBA? Because with situations like this, every owner isn't able to create a company just for the sake of paying someone under the table, allegedly, right? Every owner isn't capable of doing that. So does it kind of tilt the scales in one direction versus, the other? Like, is that the difference between Kawhi returning to the Raptors or him going to the Clippers? Because if the Raptors say, yeah, let's do it, then Kawhi, he goes back to the Raptors and we never see this version of the Clippers. Every owner isn't capable of doing this just for the sake of signing a free agent. So what does that do to the integrity of the league? I expect this to be, thoroughly investigated by Adam Silver. Of course, Steve Ballmer, he just built a new arena, and he's been really celebrated and heralded for that. In fact, a lot of people have complimented him on his willingness to pay the luxury tax and keep that team together. And that team has been a quality team with Ty Lue, James Harden, etc. Now, you got guys like Mark Cuban who have chimed in. Personally, I say, look, let the players get all the money they can get. You know what I'm saying? The owner's getting the money. Why can't the players eat? So you got a guy like Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban has come out and he's saying Mark Cuban has come out and I'm quoting his tweet. He says, "I'm on Team Ballmer. As much as I wish they circumvented the salary cap, first, Steve isn't that dumb. If he did try to feed Kawhi Leonard money, knowing that it was at stake for him personally and his team, do you think he would let the company go bankrupt, knowing all creditors would be visible to the world? They got scammed by Aspiration. That's Aspiration is the name of the alleged shell company, along with many others. Crimes for which they pleaded guilty last week. Scammers do scammy things. They did a $300 million sponsorship with the Clippers in 2021. That's a huge deal. The better the team does, the more value the sponsorship has. It actually makes perfect sense that if they stole money from investors and want the Clippers to succeed, why not give the stolen money to help keep their best player? Question mark. It's sad that Pablo Torre didn't take the time to find out how these scammers pulled off their scam. The idea that the default is Ballmer is the bad guy is going to backfire on him. I'm presuming he means backfire on Pablo. So Pablo responds, right? Pablo's like, yo, Mark, I would love to have you on the show to talk about this. Come on my show. Let's discuss the reporting. I have some questions that I would like to ask you. So now we got beef. Now Pablo, he coming at the top shark in the Shark Tank, Mark Cuban. They going to war. So we're going to see how this all plays out. Mark, come on my show. We can talk about it on here too. Pablo, I'd love to have you on the show to talk about this. Kawhi, let's talk. I know Kawhi not coming on the show. But yeah, so that's been today's show, man. Let me know what y'all think. Personally, I think it's a nothing burger. I think it's similar to like NIL deals. Like, yeah, NIL deals are happening now, but college people have been getting money under the table for years. Reggie Bush, Deion Sanders, like this has been happening since forever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the people find ways to circumvent rules and laws when it comes to money. Like, look, bro, if it's as simple as typing something into a computer and fudging some numbers around, everyone's going to do it. Everyone's going to find a way to manipulate the system, to rig the game. And that's just what happened here, in my opinion. All the stuff about the integrity of the league and maintaining parity, I get it. But ultimately, I think the players got to eat. And if the players can get a little more on their plate by, the owners circumventing a few rules, I'm all for it. The owners got their money. Why can't I get mine? But that's been today's show. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.